Boy gang, Bonaventure is dreamy, dreamy today. This is Shannon Scott with Bonaventure Cemetery Journeys out here, basically lollygagging and wandering. Pretty much what I do every day when I'm out here exploring and researching and taking people on tours. Got some wonderful bees up here doing their thing. They probably all work for the Savannah Bee Company. I don't know if you've been to our great Savannah Bee Company or not, but they are always making amazing things there at Savannah Bee. And you know, the tragedy, I hear these bees are only working for about 3 cents an hour for Savannah Bee. So yeah, they're getting their money's worth down there. But yeah, think about that. The honey you buy at Savannah Bee, yeah, some of that came out of Bonaventure's amazing flowers. But anyway, one of our topics today is the memory stone. And a good example of that is right in here inside the fairy plot, which, yeah, it's kind of an ancient, I don't know, Gaelic, mystical name of long ago. But basically here on top, you find these memory stones, or at least one in this case, where someone has been visiting and honoring the ancestor with the memory stone. And people ask me all the time on the tour, you know, what is a memory stone? What is that exactly? Well, in a way, a perfect place to talk about it is over here, where we have what they call a Scottish cairn. And it's a little domed architectural feature, and it's the only one out here in Bonaventure. But a long, long time ago, let's say, I don't know, 300 years ago, 400 or 500 years ago, when there were no laws about where you buried people, and there were no fancy headstone makers for the largest of the population, it was a tradition to bury a person where you found them laying in the road, or I don't know, but maybe it was different if it was in the city. But nonetheless, in the same way you and I encounter what we'll call those crosses on highways, you know, where people have died in car accidents. Imagine your landscape covered with these, the countryside and wherever it was in life. And this tradition goes all over the world. The memory stone is not really it's something that just particularly a Jewish tradition, although it's maybe more formally observed inside of the faith. And this is more of a, I guess, a secular tradition, I don't know. But nonetheless, this is a Scottish cairn of the Little family here in Savannah and Bonaventure, and they're showing their connections way, way, way back to their Scottish heritage in the old land. And of course, it's probable that some of their family came over here and settled New Inverness down in Darien, Georgia, of what we think of Darien today. But at one time, the tradition was when you left the town to go visit the grave of that person that had died, you would basically take a large stone and you would place it on the grave. And, you know, you might carry that some distance to visit that plot, and that was a way of showing reverence and piety for that person. And so, yeah, it was kind of like you were showing strife and exertion, and it was almost like devotional energy in a way for the people you were visiting. Okay, well, it became not only a way of guarding the grave, protecting it, marking it, of course, but in the end, it also indicated to others that you had been there visiting. Okay, so as the funerary arts evolved, no one wanted to keep bringing a big rock to, you know, hundreds of miles or whatever. Cemeteries were now a little more close to where you lived and designated, so, you know, it wasn't like you had to ask a lot of questions from town to town and find a map or something to find out where your relative was buried. Now they were in a designated place, and we'll just say that the tradition of the memory stone becomes reduced to something more pocket-sized. And the traditions around them, the interpretations that I enjoy are from rabbis. One rabbi claimed that when you have that stone in hand, it's basically the impression of the person, you know, that they made in your life. And when you set the stone down, it's a way of acknowledging that you can no longer take them with you, or they are no longer with you, and that you can't take them with you. But in a sense, it's kind of like, even though your hand is empty, you still feel the impression of them or that stone in your life or in the flesh. And, you know, setting the stone on top of the grave is also a way of saying, you know, you're not leaving them behind. There's some part of you that you're leaving with them at their grave before you return to, of course, your living life. So that's just kind of a glance at the memory stone, and we'll talk more about maybe the Jewish traditions around that later in the Jewish section of Bonaventure. But for now, that's just kind of a general glance, and hope you enjoyed it.